Hello everyone and welcome to Stamp and Chat Live. I am Gina from Gina K Designs and it's great to see all of you coming in from all around the world. Tonight we're going to do something that's a little scary for me. I'm a little scared about tonight's project. I know Tom's playing some kind of sound that I can't hear. It's not that it's it's not that it's a scary card or anything. It's just I only tried it once and I'm not sure I know how to teach it really, but we're going to get through it together and I'm going to show you the card that I'm going to do. But before I talk about the card, let's say hello to Tom. Hey Tom, how are you? What was your sound effect?
Hey, all you Stamp and Chat cats.
What was your sound effect?
It was like a weird musical kind of, eerie.
Eerie music? Okay. Oh, okay. I know, but I am a little bit nervous because this is scary for me tonight. But you saw the card. What do you think?
Oh, it's fun. Yeah.
So, well, I'll show them what it is, and then...
If you said to me, go make this, I would be singing that song.
You'd be scared, right?
Song. Yeah. Yeah, it's
So,
like, where do you start with that?
I know. But I'm going to show everybody. Oh, it was like the Twilight Zone? Okay.
Yes.
All right, well, I'm going to show everybody my practice card, and then we're going to make this together, and then I promise you, tonight when I get home, or first thing tomorrow morning, I'm going to work on a template. And then I will put the template on our blog for you guys to download and in our Facebook group. So there'll be two different places where you can download the free template for this once I figure out all the measurements. But we're going to work on it together today. So why don't I show them the card that we're going to make, okay?
Okay.
All right, so this is called a Waterfall card. Look at this card. We're going to make this tonight. And I decided to do, like, I've seen waterfall cards before, but I've never seen one like with hearts like this, real big like this. And I worked, honestly, these three hearts have been put on and ripped off of about 10 different models until I finally figured it out. So I want to show you how this card works, okay? So I used a little, this little stamp set here called Make It Move, and it's got all different things that you can use for interactive cards. And I'm trying to conquer my fear of interactive cards because that was one of the parameters that I banned, that I vetoed on Craft Roulette last Friday night because I was so intimidated by it. So I thought tonight I'm going to challenge myself. So I used Argita's new Believe in Miracles stamp set for the greetings for this. And then I just used some of our ephemera to create the beautiful flowers that you see. Now, let me show you how this opens. So when you give this to somebody, it says believe, and then you pull that better days are ahead, that God can work miracles. So what do you think of that? You like that? And it also opens this way, so you can still write on the inside. So I am hoping that you guys will go along with me while I attempt to make this card with you tonight. So somebody asked about StreamYard. What is StreamYard? If you're watching from our Facebook group, StreamYard is the streaming service that we use, and in order to have your name appear in the comments so we can see who you are making the comments, you have to give StreamYard permission to post your name with your comment. That's all that is. And if you're watching on YouTube, you don't have to do that. If you're watching in our Facebook group, on our Facebook page, you don't have to do that, and you don't have to do that on Twitch either. Just in our Facebook group, because groups are private and it's a little extra security. Okay, so let's get this card started. So I am going to, let me put this aside. So I am going to start with some hearts. Now the hearts that I created for this are these two hearts right here. These dies came from our Master Layouts 4 die set. And I made a card. I feel like every time I use this ephemera, I use pink, but that's because it works, right? I had made this card, this topper card, in a couple of weeks ago using the same die set. So when I use a die set, And I also made this card using this same die set. And this I used them in reverse to create that little shadow layer. So when I use a die set, I do like to give you lots of ideas for it. So here will be another card yet using Master Layouts 4. I also used the little button from Master Layouts 4 on the card that I made on Craft Roulette on Friday night. So we're getting a lot of use out of that. So here's what these look like. You have the stitched one, and I cut that out in white, and then you have the plain one, which I cut out in black. And when you cut them out together and you layer them together, you get this cute little shadow layer. And shadow layers are hard to do with hearts, so having a set where it's all set up for you is really awesome. So I am going to just tape this together. These are going to be my little panels that flip on my waterfall card. So let's get this lined up properly. There we go. Looking pretty good. Okay. So I have this one, and I already put together 2 others, so you don't have to sit and watch me cut hearts and tape them together. Now, the first step for this card is we need a strip. So I have a strip here that measures 10 inches by 2 inches. I should probably back out just a little bit here because this is a big strip of paper. So let me back out. All right, so this is a 10-inch strip, and it's 2 inches wide by 10 inches long. And what I'm going to do is I am going to score this at the 5-inch mark. Okay. Is that what I'm going to do? Let's see here. This might be longer. I'm going to score it at the 5-inch mark, though. I know I want to do that. Do it at the 5-inch mark. And then I'm going to cut off the rest. This actually started out as a 5 by, or a 2-inch by 11 because it was, I cut it out of an 8.5 by 11. And you know what? Just for now, I'm just going to leave everything this way. Okay, I'm not going to cut anything off yet. But I'm scoring it at the 5-inch mark. All right. Now I've scored it there at the 5-inch mark, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to score it a couple more times in 3/4 inch increments. So let's see if I can zoom in here a little bit more so you can see. And remember, I am going to create a template that's going to have all the score lines and the measurements of these weird pieces of cardstock. Okay. Have you considered making a set of nesting hearts that fit together as well as those two? I haven't done that yet, but that is not a bad idea, like our double stitched and our single stitched. I will think about that. Okay, so we've got our 5-inch mark here, right? Now we want to go down 3/4 inch. So we're going to go down from 5 to 3/4 to 1/2 to 1/4. So now the next line is going to be at the 4 1/4 inch mark. And I'm really digging in there, right? Okay. Now we're going to go down 3/4 inch from there. So we're here. That's 1/4, 2/4, 3/4 to the 3 1/2 inch mark. I know I could be better at math, but I'm not. So I have to actually count quarters. And then we're going from this 3 1/2, 1/4, 2/4, 3/4 down to that 2 3/4 inch mark. Okay. So now I don't know. Can they see those lines, Tom? They should be able to see them if I turn it this way.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So we're going to fold those inward, just like we had this folded in half. We're going to fold inward all of those score lines. Okay. So it kind of looks like that. All right. And I want you to get your score tool and really press down on those so that they're nice and creased. This is kind of thick paper. It's our 100-pound black. You could do this with a thinner cardstock if you wanted to. You could do it with white if you want. But I thought it would look good with black just because the backs of the hearts are all black, and you kind of wouldn't see that as much when I glue them onto here. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we are going to cut 2 more panels. Now I already cut them because I'm saving a little bit of time here, but I cut 2 panels from our Master Layouts 2 die set You don't have to use Master Layouts 2 for this. You also don't have to use hearts. You can have circles, you can have squares that go up. You can do whatever shape you want. So don't feel like you have to have these dies to make this card. I just wanted it to have a more Valentine's-y, lovey kind of feel, and then you could put whatever greetings you would want inside. So I wanted to do it with hearts, but you can do it with big circles, you can do it with small circles, whatever you want. Rectangles, squares. I cut the single stitched one and the plain one out of black, and I mounted those two together. Okay, so now the next thing we're going to do is we are going to cut a strip. Now here's a strip that I have already pre-cut, and I think this one might be a little big, so I might cut it down to 5 inches here. This is 3/4 of an inch by 5 inches. Okay? Now this strip is going to be a little belly band that's going to go around this strip. So what I'm going to do is I need, normally, you know, if you wanted to make a belly band that would go around this and you wanted it to be nice and tight, you would make it 2 inches around, right? Because this is a 2-inch strip of cardstock. But we need this piece of cardstock to be able to move inside of this belly band. So what we're going to do is we're going to score this 2.5 inches. Put it anywhere, but just make sure that you score 2.5 inches. So like if you wanted to just put it right here, let's just do it right here, okay? I'm going to score my first one at 3.5 inches, okay? Then my other one, I'm going to do it 1 3/8 of an inch, okay? That gives me 2 1/8 inch. Let's see if it does. Yes, that gives me 2 1/8 inch band. So that's a little bigger than my 2 inches. So let's see if it fits. If it doesn't, it's just a piece of cardstock. Yeah, that fits really nicely. And I know it might be hard to see this because it's black, but it does fit really nicely. Okay? Now we have this belly band wrapped around here, and what we're going to do is we are going to just get it up to maybe just leaving a little bit between this score line here and where you're going to have the top of your belly band. Maybe just like a 1/2 inch maybe. Okay, just like that. And what we're going to do is we're not going to tape it in the back. We're going to leave it free in the back. We're just going to tape it to the front. Okay, so we want this to be nice and flat here. Let's get it nice and flat. And then we're going to put some tape on this side like this. This is nice and flat. And then we're going to tape this down to the front. Then, keeping it nice and flat, we're going to tape the other side down to the front as well. Okay? So now we've got that there. Now I want to show you. This is going to move now. See how this moves? So that's your third position, your second position, and your first position.
This is like craft engineering.
It kind of is, right? Okay. So now what we're going to do is we are going to attach this to this card front. All right? But we don't want to attach anything here. We only want to attach the belly band to the card. Because if we attach this, we can't pull it, right? This has to be able to move. The only part that doesn't have to be able to move is the belly band. The belly band doesn't have to move on the back, and the belly band doesn't have to move on the front. So we're only attaching the belly band. All right? So I want to look at this to see where I want to put it. And then what we're going to end up doing is trimming this down underneath here. And we can actually probably do that now. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So before we put this on, rather than having to struggle with scissors, We know that this measures 3.5 inches by 4 3/4 of an inch. So we're going to cut this down to 4 3/4 of an inch with the paper cutter, because it'll make it easier than having to dig scissors in there and try to, you know, get a nice straight line. So let's go ahead and do that. I hope that was right. Okay. Yep, that was right. Okay. Now we're going to put this right in the center coming down. And I'm going to attach just the belly band, like I said, 6 times, but I really want you to remember that. And I'm going to use a stronger tape for this. So this is the Gina K Designs Terrific Tape. If you don't have this, go ahead and use something like score tape or red line tape, whatever you have that's a really strong tape. You can also glue it if you want. I know, I'm doing an interactive card. I know, it's scary. I'm very scared. Right, measure twice, cut once, exactly. Okay, I'm just adding a little bit more here. I just want it to really stick down. And I like using this because it's easy to tear, but you know, red line tape is great, score tape is great too. Okay, I really want to make sure that this is on there really well. And then I'm just gonna peel these off here. And if you guys are asking questions, I know some of you just came in because we have about, I don't know, like 2,600 people here, and we did not have that many people here when I first started. So you may have popped in and missed a little bit of this, but you can always go back and watch the replay. Okay. Now, I'm going to place this right in the center, and I'm starting at the top of the white, making sure it's kind of even side to side. And when it looks pretty good to me, that is where I'm going to put it. And now I'm going to really press on the belly band part. All right, now let's see if that's going to work. So remember the top one we need to grab, the bottom one we need to grab, and we've got to pull the bottom one. And see, that's going to work. Okay. Now this top one we're going to cut down, but we're going to get our hearts on there first. Okay, so let's put this on the, we might as well put it right on the card base, because once it's all poofed up with everything, it'll be kind of a mess to try to do that. So we're going to put this onto a Dusty Rose card base. Dusty Rose is such a gorgeous color cardstock, and it matches so nicely with our ephemera, our watercolor ephemera. Okay, and then I'm gonna put that right on there, making sure it's not upside down. I don't think it is. Belly band looks right to me. There we go. Okay. Now for the next step, we're going to start adhering these hearts onto these 3 panels. Now you only want to attach the hearts right at the top here, okay? And it's just kind of like center of the heart in, okay? Because you could see where that's going to go, right? Center of the heart in. So we don't want to put our tape past that point, and we only want to have it like right at the top here like this. Okay, you see that shining? And we want to start at the lowest one first because they're going to overlap each other. And I'm going just below that score line. And before I get these all in position, I want to test each one. Now you see I'm kind of using the bottom here to make sure that the point is like in the center too. Okay, now I'm going to test it again just by grabbing that back piece and pulling up on that. Okay, that looks pretty good. It's not hurting any of this stuff. And now we're going to do the same thing for the next one. We're just adding that little tape right there, kind of in the V of the heart. And again, we're going to line this up just under the score line, and I'm lining it up making sure that the points are level with each other, you know, that they're centered. Okay, there we go. Now that's the second one. Okay, and I'm going to just grab the back here and pull. There we go. That one worked. Okay. All right. Yes, it's similar to a waterfall. It is a waterfall card. But it's a little different. I was looking at, you know, different cards on Instagram, and they were beautiful, but most of them are very small little, you know, things that flip over, and I wanted to do something with really big ones. So 3 hearts. Now we're going to put our last one on, and if you've never made a card like this, just follow along step by step. I know I'm going pretty slow here. Okay. And now we're going to put that last one right near the top, making sure that these bottom points are centered of this heart, the bottom point with the other points. There we go. Okay. So now let's test it again. I want to grab that back one. 1, 2, and there's the last one. Okay, that works. Okay, now I'm going to trim off this top one. So let me get my little scissors. Okay, so we've got these 2 together here, right? These 2 pieces, and I'm going to trim this top one so it just hides right underneath this heart. Okay, so I'm just getting my scissors in there and cutting that away. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Get my scissors under there and cut that away. Now you can't see that one, and you're only going to have this one left to pull. Okay? Okay. Now what I did on my sample card was I cut this into a V on this side, and then I added my little stamped image here that says pull just on this side. All right, I'm telling you, this is not that hard to do. I was scared, but now that I've gotten this far, now I know it's fine and it's working. It's not hard to do. And remember, you know, if you're just tuning in, I talk you through it from the very start and tell you where to measure and where to score, and you're going to be fine. And I'm going to do that template so you can print it out and have it sitting by you so you can see it, you know, in that way too. For those of you that are, I'm going to say more visual, but this is visual, but you like to have the printed materials too. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we are going to trim this one on this side to create just a tiny border. So I'm just going in a straight line. I'm cutting that right up there like that. Okay? I know that was scary. That was a little scary to do. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp this one right here. I already have it on my block. I'm a little over prepared tonight. But I have it on my block. I'm using pull here. Can you see that? Pull here. Now you can also like put it into the circle. So if you wanted to like stamp this little circle and then cut the circle out, color it in with color, and then stamp pull here, you know, it would look more like a button. But I'm going to do it kind of in a little like a little triangle over here on the side. So I need a piece of plain white cardstock, and I need it to have a nice crisp edge on it. So I'm just going to trim down some cardstock here, making sure that I have a good right angle. That's a good right angle down there. Okay, now we're going to stamp this with some black ink. Pull here. Now I'm going to stamp that right down here in this corner. I don't like the way it's stamped. Let's cut another right angle. All the other stuff worked out, right? And then I can't stamp an image.
That must have been a wrong angle.
Right. Not a right angle, a wrong angle. Is that the word of the day? Okay. Now we're going to stamp this right here. And I'm going to just wiggle it a tiny bit. There we go. Perfect. You're not supposed to wiggle your stamps, but sometimes you have to wiggle your stamps. Let's clean that up and we'll get that put away. Okay. I love this little set. I mean, you know, I designed this set with everything, like spin me and push here and press here. It's great for those pear blossom press lights. Oh my gosh, it works great for that. Look inside, that's kind of fun. You light up my life. You know, it's got shake it up for shaker cards. But I'm always afraid of interactive cards. So tonight I am tackling my fear. Okay, so now this is going to go like right in this corner here, and I'm just going to trim. So I'm going to put a little mark where I think I want it to be, like right about here.
So what's the name of that stamp set, and is it available?
This one? Yeah, it's available. It's called Make It Move. Make It Move. And it's got all the things for cards with movement. Okay. And so now I'm just going to let's try.
Very, very motivational.
Yes, make it make it move. I didn't use this mark that I just put on here because it was going to get in the way of my words. Now, I want this to be smaller, so I'm going to do a straight line here. And I'm going to do a straight line here. I can do this a couple more times if it still doesn't look good, but I think it's going to look okay. That's where I want it to go.
I'm sorry, it says it's out of stock.
Oh, it must have sold out because I just checked before I went on, and we had them. So I don't know. I guess people saw it. I said it at the beginning, and maybe people ran in to buy it. So we'll get a reorder going. Just get on the notify me list, and we'll get a reorder going right away. Okay, so this one I'm going to slip under here. I actually don't like the angle that that's on, so I think I will just cut it. We'll try this. Let's see if that works better.
Another wrong angle.
Another wrong angle. That one looks better to me, though. Okay, so I'm going to put it right there. I'm just fussy cutting that. That would be nice to have a die that would cut that perfectly, but, you know, you never know what perfect is going to be when you're just hand cutting stuff. So, yeah. Hey, and, you know, like, if you don't have this, like this stamp set, you can always just, like, handwrite on there, pull here. Or, if you don't like your handwriting, you can print it out on your printer and just cut around it. There we go. Okay, so now that kind of creates that little V outline there. I feel like this one isn't quite as even on this side, but I don't know if I want to mess with it. Do I want to mess with it? Sure, why not? I'll mess with it a little bit. Ooh, this is scary to mess with it. Okay, I think that's good. I'm not messing with it anymore. So now there's nothing over here, and we know that we got to pull here, and that creates that. Okay. There. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to figure out some floral arrangements. Now the thing about arranging the flowers on here, you do want to be careful not to extend past the top of this, or it's going to bend when this heart comes up. So you don't want to do that. You want to make sure that anything on the top stays just within the white part anyway. But we're going to add little parts to all of this, and it's just going to create this kind of cascading floral kind of thing. Now before we do this, why don't we do our greeting, the one that we're going to cut out. So what I'm going to use here is I'm going to use this stamp set called Believe in Miracles. And I'm going to use the word believe, and then I'm going to cut out the word believe. Because on my sample, I didn't pop it up, and I think I want to pop it up. Maybe, we'll see. And then what I love about this set is it has some faithful type of greetings in here, which I like. Let me just open this up so you can see it a little better. So, believe that better days are ahead. Believe that God can work miracles. I think those two sayings together are really great for somebody that's struggling. Maybe they're struggling with a health issue or something. But, you know, you can also do believe there is a better plan. Believe you can do anything. That might be good for somebody. Let's say they lost their job and you want to encourage them. You know, there's a better plan. You can do anything. Or there's a better plan. Believe in yourself. Hey, Tom, can you go get my water? Thank you so much. Okay, and then, of course, believe in magic is fun. But there's different ways that you can mix and match these together. So I'm going to do believe that there are better days ahead and believe that God can work miracles, because I have some friends right now that are struggling with different things. One of my friends is grieving the loss of their spouse, and another one of my friends is going through cancer treatment. And so, you know, you can always use cards like this. So I am going to start with, I'm not going to let this go to waste. I'm going to start just with the word believe. And we're going to get that because we need that for the front. Yeah, it's a great set. And the floral is gorgeous too. I mean, the flowers are beautiful. But sometimes you just need a certain greeting, and this is it. So I'm going to stamp the word believe down here, and that will go on the front. This could be a problem. There we go. Thank you. I appreciate it so much. Okay. I'm drying up, ladies and gentlemen. I'm drying up. I'm at that phase in my life where I'm just drying up. I'm going to tape that down with some masking magic. Okay. So now I'm going to ink this up. And I'm going to probably stamp it more than once, but that's a pretty good impression. Okay, that's looking good. So I'll save this piece of masking magic, and then we're going to die cut the word believe out. So if you think about it, the hardest part of this waterfall card is just really cutting these 3 layers out and assembling that little scored thing. I mean, other than that, I believe Master Layouts 4 did just arrive into our warehouse. I'm not sure they you know, we get thousands of them, so they have to count all of them first to make sure we got everything that was sent to us. But I thought Master Layouts 4 was one of them that just recently came back. Pretty sure I saw it back there anyway. Okay, so now what we're gonna do, I usually don't know what's in stock though. I just happened to go back out there and see them counting a bunch of dies the other day. I don't know if they went back in and they sold out again. I hope not. That would be really quick. What did I do with the die for this? Oh, I put it somewhere. Give me a minute to find that. Is it under? You guys probably see it, right? Oh, nope. I thought it was attached to my score pal. You guys have done that before, right? All right. I'm going to have to find it, so give me a minute to take this apart. See, this is the live, part of the live. Here we go. I found it. That people get nervous about. But I don't. I just think it's part of life, right? Okay. So now we're going to put that right here. This is real life. This is how real life stamping happens. You put your die next to you. You get out your die cutting machine and it disappears. That's real life. Okay. I think people thought it was a Halloween card tonight because I said it was scary. Well, it is scary. That's a scary thing for me, is the interactive. But I feel better now. I have a magnetic dish. And look at it. Here's my magnetic dish. It's filled with dies. I have one. And I should clean these out and put them away. I haven't put them away since Christmas. And then I should have it right there, so I throw it right in there. You're absolutely right. Okay, so there's my little word. Okay. And Tom, I can't see all the questions, so if you see anything, just let me know. Ooh, okay. Now.
All right. Question, when do you think you will place orders for the platform 6x9 plate for the intracut?
For the platform? You mean the white platform?
For the platform 6x9 plate.
Okay, well, we do have the plates, I believe, but if you're talking about the platform, we don't have an order in for the platform, but I will tell you that we have ordered a magnetic platform for it. So we talked to them about doing a magnetic platform for us, and that has been ordered, so that's kind of exciting. But right now, unfortunately, China is having their New Year, and so everybody's gone, and nothing from China will come in until March, if it hasn't already shipped. Okay. All right, so I am going to use some of this ephemera. This is our watercolor ephemera, and I love this stuff. And I'm going to create my first panel up here with my flowers. So I'm going to use this flower. I love this one. I also love this. This is really a pretty flower. But I'm going to use this one today. And I'm going to use 2 of these.
And a date for the February release.
Our February release is going to be on February 20th. Tuesday night, February 20th. Mark your calendar. I think this is the best kit coming that we've ever done. But I know I say that a lot, so I'll leave it up to you, but it's going to be a good one. We've got another master layouts coming too, which is very exciting. Okay, so I'm going to use these pieces to create my first floral up here. And I always like to lay it out first to make sure that it's the way I want it to be. So remember, we're not going above that heart right there, because when we open that heart we don't want anything to bend. So we can put this down here, and then we can pop this one.
Any plans for more ephemera?
Yes, we do have plans for more ephemera, and I have certain color themes in mind too. There's definitely going to be more ephemera because I want to do other colors. So that's going to be my layout. And then I'm going to pop Believe right over here. Okay, so that's going to be my first one. So we'll start by, I'm going to actually pop that heart up too. Now it doesn't really matter too much, you know, what's going on the bottom. You can have it overlap a little bit, but it really matters what's happening at the top. So you don't want to overlap on the top. Okay. So I'm going to start with the leaves. Let's get the leaves in place first. You can take a picture of your layout with your phone, and then that does make it easier to remember, like if you get the perfect layout. You can also try to pick it up with press and seal if you want, but sometimes, you know, it shifts a little bit. So taking a picture of like your perfect layout with your phone is nice. Then you can refer to it when you're doing your final layout. But I like to do these one at a time. And see, that was stuck under those leaves. So I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to snip this. I don't need all of that, so it doesn't really matter, but it'll be easier to tuck down in there now. You never have to worry about, you know, snipping something if you want to. Okay, and then this one's going to go in here on the side. Like that. And then I'm going to pop this one up with one foam square just to give it some dimension. Okay.
And the fuse is getting closer, I would
It
think.
is getting closer. I already paid the VAT tax on it, so I know it's getting closer.
Oh, boy.
All right, and then Believe is going to go right up here like that. And you can put it anywhere you want. You know, like you could put it over a little bit more. You can have it hiding under there. If you want to pop it up, you can. But it's okay if it tucks under a little bit, that one flower. Okay. So I will stick it right about here. There we go. Okay, so now we have this. Now you could leave it like that, you know, and just stamp greetings, but I feel like it fills it out more when you have other parts. So now we've got the first one done. Let's open it. It opens just fine. And now we're going to stamp our next greeting. So the next greeting that we're going to stamp, and I know this is going to be scary for some of you because I'm going to do it with a block and not a MISTI. I'm going to do That Better Days Are Ahead. I'm going to do this one first. I'm going to put that face down. And I'm going to pick it up with my block so I can kind of line it up with one of the grid lines of the block. Like that. So I know it's on the block very straight. Okay, so that helps a little bit. Then I am going to use my little scrap paper here to test it to make sure it's inked up well. I know, eek! Okay, so That Better Days Are Ahead. We'll test it first. Stamped nicely. Okay, here we go. We're going to stamp it up just a little high. I'm going to stamp it right about here. There we go. Okay, so we got that on there. I know, it is scary using a block after you're spoiled by a MISTI, right? I hear you. Now, we're going to add some ephemera to this. Well, you definitely could stamp before assembling. You can do that. For me, I like to kind of do this part at the end because I like to see where things are laying, and you know, I want to make sure that my greeting is underneath. And if you stamp it a little bit low and part of this sticks out on the side, you might be unhappy with that. So it does make me feel a little bit better to do it this way. Okay, so I'm going to add some more greenery in here, and I'm going to add some here like this. And then I'm going to add another flower. I think I'll use that same flower. Should I use that same flower? Yeah, I'll use the same flower. This will be a patch of these flowers. But by all means, if that makes you feel better to do it that way, you know, do it whatever way makes you feel the best. Okay, so that's going to go there. And then I want to see what it looks like when it's closed. Okay, I like that. See, it's kind of feeling more viney this way. Okay, so now I know where I want this. I'm going to do the green first. I'm going to slip that in there. There we go. And then let me look at it again. Yep, that looks good. And then I'm not going to pop this one up. I want it to be flat. So I'll just tape it right on there. And I'm going to tape it more up in this area because I don't want any tape to overlap and get on here because it'll stick to that and it won't let it move freely. Okay, so there we go. Now we've got those two. Okay, now we need to do our last one. So 1, 2, now we're going to do this one. This one's going to be scary because I've got to do it up on an angle a little bit. So I probably should have stamped this one first, but I think it'll be all right. And it's a smaller greeting, so we'll be okay. We'll be all right. We'll make it work. That God can work miracles. I'm counting on you, God, to work a miracle here that I stamp this straight. I'm going to stamp it right in here. Okay. Yep, I think it'll be okay. I'm going to test it. But yeah, definitely you could stamp this first. Okay, here we go.
And all the flowers are from the ephemera pack, right?
Yes, they're from the Watercolor Ephemera. Okay, so hopefully, yep, that's going to hide that pretty well. Okay, and now I'm going to add another one of these, but I'm going to add it over here like this, and then another flower in there, which I'll add over here. Let's see how that looks when it's closed. Oh yeah, that'll be really pretty, right? Okay. So here we go. We're going to tape the first one, this one down. I know, that was very scary. It really was, Tom. It was very scary.
Someone mentioned that this might not be the card to mass produce.
No, this is not a card to mass produce. Maybe. I don't know, though. You never know.
If you're on your way to prison or hard time. You have a few years to kill. Well, you never know if you really like the process.
I love the process. To me, it's super fun. And I feel like we could even add a couple little rhinestones or crystals in there. But I just love the cascade of the flowers.
Wow.
Right? And then how it believe that better days are ahead, that God can work miracles.
Wow.
Okay. I am going to add a couple little crystal-y things here. I think I did take pictures earlier of my sample, but I'm going to take more of this one. So let's just add a few little disco ball sequins in here because I feel like, you know, something real light and airy is the right way to go. Let me find my tool.
Speaking of light and airy,
Uh-oh.
shall we do a word of the day?
Yes, do a word of the day while I add some sequins.
Okay.
It's perfect timing.
So, we had a few lives last week that you were either a guest or you had a guest, or
Yes.
and we have to configure the headphones differently, and we had some cable shortages, and my headphone cord was a lot shorter than usual. So I did a lot of it like kind of down here like this. And that's because I had to use a neck extension cord. Neck extension cord, word of the day. Back in the dead space.
That's very funny. An extension cord. I love that. That's the best word of the day. I might put two more on here. I might put a tiny in here and then a tiny up here. Yeah, we went live a bunch of times. I was on Jennifer's channel. We did our tag team video last week. And then Friday night I was on Craft Roulette, which was super fun. If you missed that, that's fun. Just go over to Craft Roulette's channel and check that out. And then I was live on Tuesday. I did miss Thursday because I had a doctor's appointment. But a lot of you were so sweet and saying, I hope everything worked out fine. And everything is fine. It's just some of those doctors, you know, they don't have much available. And they don't really care that we go live. They have what they have and you either take it or you don't. So I had to take it. But everything is fine. Status quo. Looking good. Okay. Well, oh, I just put my finger in glue. Let me wipe my finger. Okay, so one more time, we'll get the full effect here. Push things out of the way. Full effect, we've got the little sequins on there. And here we go. Believe that better days are ahead, that God can work miracles. All right.
Gasp.
What else to use instead of flowers? You could use cute little critters, right? You could have a little critter here holding coffee, and then you could have one inside with coffee, like our new little coffee critter set that was in the kit. You could use leaves if you wanted something a little bit more masculine and not use the hearts. You could use maybe, I don't know, rectangles or circles or something instead. So, but anyway, there is the card, and I made it through, and you guys made it through with me. And then, of course, on the inside, you can put whatever you want. So there's still plenty of room to write your greeting. Now, if you don't want to write anything on the inside, you could leave one of the hearts blank, and you could write on one of the hearts, and then maybe add a gift card inside instead. Whatever you want to do. I mean, it's your card. You do it the way you want. But that is my waterfall card. All right. What do you think, Tom?
Spectacular. That's a bell ringer there.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah.
Super fun.
Yeah, it's like several cards into one.
It is. It's fun.
But
and
they all go together.
They do. And it's different than most of the waterfall cards you'll see out there, because a lot of them have 5 flaps or more flaps, but they're all very small. And these are huge.
And you know what I think would be cool? If you just didn't put the pull here lever, like the words there, and then you just let them look at it for a while, and then after about 5 minutes you said, oh, and look at this.
Yeah, that would be nice too. You can also, if you don't want to do that and you want it to be a little more delicate, there are just some little arrows. See the little arrow here? And you could just stamp a little arrow there instead if you wanted, instead of saying pull here. You definitely could do that as well. But putting pull here does let them know that there is something interactive there. So if you aren't handing this to them in person and you're mailing it, that, helps them know that they can do that. All right, Tom. So we have to give away a gift card. So if you're new here, we give a gift card now at every live we do. It's a gift card to Gina K Designs, $15. Is that what it is, Tom? $15 gift card?
Yes.
All right, so Tom is going to randomly pick a name. The way to enter is just to make a comment, and he just randomly picks one of you from the chat. He just kind of runs the mouse, and the comments just kind of go up and down, and he kind of closes his eyes and lands on somebody. And so, you ready, Tom?
All right, we got a cheesy drum roll.
Hey, where are you? There you are. Okay.
Fanfare, and the winner is Wendy Goundreg.
Wendy, congratulations,
Wendy Goundreg.
Wendy. All you have to do is send your name and your email address to info@ginakdesigns.com and tell them you won the $15 gift card, and they will send that out to you. It's a digital gift card, and you'll get it in your email. All right, everybody. Well, this was so much fun. We hope you had a good time tonight. I hope that you'll give this waterfall card a try. It's way easier than you think. And I was scared tonight because I had only made it one other time, and I made like 10 different ones trying to get it to work today. When I finally figured out the measurements, I wrote a couple notes down, but I'm going to make a template for you and for me so that we can have it forever. And on that template also, I always put a QR code so that you can use your phone, your smartphone, shine it right on the QR code, and it'll take you right to this YouTube video so you can have the template and you can watch the video and make one too. All right, everybody. Well, Tom and I will be back on Thursday with another Stampin' Chat Live. We hope you will too. That is our Crafternoon. We are on at noon Central Time. That's 1 Eastern. And the good news is, wherever you are, it's going to show up in your time zone. Until then, everybody, stay safe and healthy. We love you all so very much. And mwah, we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.